Right now, the ripple effect of a shooting less than a block from the state capitol over the weekend.
And police say they have their man believed to have crashed his truck into a town of Beloit home this weekend.
Plus, a fundraiser brings the president back to Wisconsin this week. What we know about the visit straight ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
State Street is considered one of the most popular areas in Madison, but business owners there say there's a problem with crime.
It comes just after the shooting that happened Saturday night outside of Ian's Pizza. Police arrested 3 people believed to be involved. Jamie Perez joins us live from where that shooting happened. And Jamie, what are business owners saying about the issue?
Well, you guys, a lot of business owners do acknowledge that there is a problem when it comes to crime in the area. A lot of people saying that the problem has just gotten progressively worse, saying that the incident, the shooting on Saturday, merely proves their case. But even with all of that said, they say that overall it's still a fairly safe area. But it's the people that frequent State Street the most that say that change needs to happen.
No one knew anything. It just, wow, that was it.
Frederick Burton was here Saturday night when he heard the gunshots.
We took off. That way, I was laying on the ground. When I laid down, I stayed down.
While a lot of people can run for cover and return home to safety in these situations, this is Burton's safety, and State Street is his home.
When the shots was fired, that made everybody nervous because there was kids out here. Anybody could have got, kids could have got hit, anybody.
Burton's been living on State Street since 1992, and over the years,
it's getting worse.
While many business owners fear the increase in crime may deter their customers, Burton says this is also a problem for the homeless community here who don't cause any trouble.
We are State Street. And to not to feel safe or comfortable or welcome, it's not cool.
Many business owners didn't want to go on the record, but told me off camera, crime is up at night. They've seen things like drug deals, prostitution, and more recently, a shooting.
State Street is safe overall. Come down. Enjoy it. I think everybody knows this. But there's a problem down here and it needs to be addressed.
Despite knowing about the crime here, Nate Mergen opened this bar on State Street 3 weeks ago.
I feel that if we don't continue to try to evolve the block, we just run away from things, then nothing's going to get better.
Mergen said keeping State Street busy and filled with good-intentioned people will hopefully deter crime from happening. But he says there's more work to be done to make things safer.
The 100 block of State Street where I'm located, there are a number of issues here, and it's with the homeless, and it's also with, the transigent or the people that aren't necessarily homeless, but the people that are hanging around here.
For people like Burton who don't have a space to go, he's hoping State Street gets safer for his community too.
They're working people. You got people that are homeless and they still work, and they want to have a good place to chill out at.
Business owners told me off camera that they are trying to work with the city to make this a better place, but they say that they hope that community members aren't deterred by the number of crimes, that this is a generally safe place. They're hoping the community continues to show up, and they say this will take a community to make this as safe a place as possible.
Jamie Perez reporting tonight on State Street. Jamie, thank you.
Police have arrested a 20-year-old man, Cameron Lee Flory of Beloit. They believe he is the one who crashed into a town of Beloit home over the weekend, which started the fire that burned the home to the ground. The crash happened around 2:30 early Sunday morning on South Riverside Drive. When officers arrived, the vehicle and house were engulfed in flames. The home was vacant, and witnesses told police they saw a male running from the area. Investigators say they were able to use the vehicle registration information to track down the driver.
Looking at the forecast now, the warm weather will stick around a bit. Here's meteorologist Chris Reese. Chris?
Hello, guys. We did reach highs in the low 80s again today. 82, in fact, was the high here in Madison. Mineral Point, of course, making it towards 88. But most of us saw those temperatures anywhere from the low 70s along the lake shore to the upper 80s as you work your way towards the Mississippi River. Temperatures now still kind of show the same thing. 71 in Milwaukee, 81 in Madison, La Crosse at 84. Humidity is low, 47%. The dew points back into the upper 50s. Thanks to the wind coming out of the east, blowing in some drier air from the lake, but the warmer dew points, or the air that is more humid across the Mississippi River, will eventually begin to sneak into town. I want to point something out. Fargo, North Dakota has a dew point of 70. That's where the air is oppressively humid, and it will be headed our way, at least briefly. There's some showers and thunderstorms that direction. We'll talk about how that impacts us coming up and Maine weather.
Chris, thanks. President Trump will be in Wisconsin this week, set to attend a fundraiser in Milwaukee. Details about that appearance are sparse right now, other than that it will be on Friday. The state GOP says it just learned of that visit today from the Republican National Committee. You could soon see electric scooters riding beside you on roads and sidewalks in Wisconsin.
And Governor Evers signed a bill into law today to regulate this new transportation option. Rose Schmidt explains how it affects Madison. Rose?
Yes, well, Governor Evers says electric scooters improve access to low-cost transportation options and will attract startup companies to Wisconsin, including scooter operators like Bird and Lime. The scooters are not currently allowed on Madison roads, but city officials say it is a discussion they're having. It's not difficult to find an array of transportation options already available in Madison, but prepare for a new alternative that could be on the way: electric scooters.
The ability to regulate scooters locally is critical to the success and public acceptance of this new transportation option going forward.
Governor Tony Evers signed a bill into law Monday, lifting the statewide ban on e-scooters and giving local governments the option to regulate them, as long as they're under 100 pounds and keep a 15-mile-per-hour speed limit.
Many other cities across the country, including Portland, Chicago, Minneapolis, and Denver, are either piloting or have already legalized their use.
But don't expect to see e-scooters on roads or sidewalks in Madison just yet.
So we're going to take this time right now to pause, just understand some of the new evidence and data that's being assembled by different entities.
The Madison Common Council passed an ordinance last August stating that if Wisconsin ever allows e-scooters, then the city has the ability to conduct a pilot program. But Madison's transportation director says the timing of the governor's signature isn't conducive to starting that pilot project this fall.
Because it's really the middle of July and we can't get something going this year, we're going to take the next 9 months and understand the advantages of e-scooters and some of the challenges associated with them.
Challenges like parking for the scooters, as well as health considerations for those who ride them.
You know, there are a fair number of injuries. A lot of the injuries have to do with head injuries because helmets are not frequently used.
The city's transportation director says if the city committees and common council want to move forward with that pilot program, they would be looking at doing so next year.
Another yoga studio closed late last week without warning and little explanation for members, some who could be out more than $1,000 in membership fees. The owner of Bliss Flow sent an email to members saying the bank is no longer supporting the loan for that studio. One member says she replied to the email asking if there would be any reimbursement, but received a reply saying it would not be possible. The State Department of Ag, Trade, and Consumer Protection says people can file a complaint with their bureau to see if it's possible to get any money back. 145
people came back from the holiday weekend only to find out they no longer have jobs. The Tramontina plant in Manitowoc abruptly closed this morning. The closure is due to what its parent company, Tramontina USA, called production cost increases. Tramontina USA Cookware had been manufacturing aluminum cookware vessels here since 2005. A year after the major Sun Prairie explosion caused by a gas main strike, hearing about a leak can put you on edge.
But how common are they? Well, according to the Public Service Commission, in the past few years, line hits in Wisconsin, they've gone up a bit. About 1,300 was the total in 2018, but numbers show the number of hits per 1,000 locating tickets, those coming from diggers' hotline calls, have remained relatively steady. PSC officials say the hits tend to go up with increased construction, and they've been seeing a lot of telecommunications development recently. Emergency responders, including firefighters in Madison, say gas leak safety has been even more top of mind since last July's explosion.
The Sun Prairie accident, your senses are a lot more alert. You're probably second and triple guessing yourself, making sure you're doing the correct procedures so no one does get hurt, whether it's, again, firefighters or the public that we're trying to serve.
Coming up at 10, we'll dive deeper into how area utility companies have responded to that explosion as part of our Sun Prairie Stronger series.
Still to come at 6, an annual golf outing raises money to keep the stories of our veterans alive.
And for the first time in its more than 80-year history, a Madison-based drum and bugle corps is ending its all-male tradition.
Impressive.
Welcome back. The all-male Madison Scouts Drum and Bugle Corps is now allowing women to join.
The board of directors has adopted a non-discrimination policy, changing 81 years of tradition. And our Amanda Quintana is here with how this decision was reached. Amanda?
Yes, well, the group was originally founded in 1938 as a Boy Scout troop, and it has stayed an all-male organization since then until now. The decision has taken a while, though. The program director telling me discussion was in notes found from 1975. Then 2 years ago, a committee was formed to look at the possibility of being inclusive. A survey was sent to students, staff, parents, alumni, and others involved in the Drum Corps International. A majority of people supported the idea of allowing women. Alum Brian Johnson says this change is a long time coming.
You've eliminated one of these very frustrating institutional challenges that females are trying to overcome. And there are many, many more. This is far from the first or the last, but it's exciting for me to see, one of those barriers sort of come down.
The survey found the group most emotionally attached to the question was alumni who have a strong connection to it being just men. Some of them have chosen to withdraw their support, but still a majority supported the change. Most in favor of being inclusive was musical educators. There are 22 world-class drum corps, the highest class, including the Madison Scouts. With the Scouts now allowing women, there is only one other group in those 22 that is still males only. That's the Cavaliers in Rosemont, Illinois. And women can start registering now online for the 2020 season. We have a link on our website.
All right, interesting story. Amanda Quintana reporting. Amanda, thank you very much.
In an effort to preserve the memories and stories of veterans, the Wisconsin Veterans Museum Foundation raised funds at their 15th annual Oaks Golf Course outing today. The proceeds support new exhibits, programming, and acquisition requests. Today's outing brought in 134 players, the majority of whom are veterans themselves. WPS sponsored the outing and included a raffle entry, lunch, and greens fees. It was a day to play golf and have fun, but also to honor veterans who fought for our freedom.
We need to make sure that their stories are told for our future generations to come. So for what they've done for us and fought for our freedoms, it's the least that we can do.
Curators from the museum brought out historical gear from the Civil, Vietnam, and World Wars for the golfers to look at and even wear. If a golfer wore one of the packs while playing, some weighed up to 80 pounds, they'd receive a free raffle ticket.
And still ahead tonight, the Dane County Farmers Market is changing locations this weekend. We'll tell you where it's moving and what will be taking its spot coming up.
And the warm-up continues. Meteorologist Chris Reese will have the forecast for the work week ahead when we come back. Welcome back. The Dane County Farmers Market is changing locations this weekend.
This Saturday, the market will move from the square up to Breese-Stevens Field. Art Fair on the square will be taking its place. Farmers Market will still have its normal time, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Just move down the street a few blocks. The Breese-Stevens concession stands will also be open to market shoppers.
In parts of northern Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula, wildfires burning in Canada are causing a pretty cool scene. The smoke, as it drifts south, is creating some colorful display, specifically during sunrise and sunset. It is expected to start clearing out tomorrow.
Chris Reese joining us now with a look at our forecast. I saw that. You could see that today. Are you picking that up on radar at all? A lot of times you can't, right?
It's not showing up on radar, oddly enough. But I'll tell you what, the sun has been a spectacular sight. Yesterday evening, I was able to notice it. We'll see what it's like going through today. But I do want to go ahead and show you guys the hazy look that we have on the camera right now. No, it's not a perfectly clear sky. It almost looks like it's just humid, but it's not all that humid outside. The reality is this is smoke throughout the atmosphere. So as the sun begins to set later on, say around 7:30, 8 o'clock, look for what could likely be a pretty colorful, beautiful sunrise. Or sunset, rather. Temperature-wise, it's 81 degrees right now. Winds coming out of the east at 7 miles per hour. That easterly wind is keeping the humidity low because the air is just a little bit drier underneath that east wind. Dew points down into the lower 50s. Check out what it's doing, though, along the lakeshore. 71 is the temperature in Milwaukee. Kenosha at 73 or 72. Sheboygan at 73. Once you get away from the lake, those temperatures do return to more summer-like style temperatures. 81 in Madison, Boscobel at 83, La Crosse at 84 right now. These are where those temperatures are a bit warmer. This is also where things are a little bit more humid. The dew point 65 in Viroqua right now. The 60-degree dew point really close to the Madison area, but we are just far enough towards the east that it does feel better for us. No showers or thunderstorms out there right now over the state of Wisconsin. There have been some showers and thunderstorms as you work your way towards the eastern part of the Dakotas. This is a cold front that will gradually begin to sink its way towards the south and east. It will eventually also increase our chances for seeing some showers and thunderstorms around here. So this is a severe weather outlook for right now, where the greatest risks for severe weather do exist across the country. Watch what happens into tomorrow. That begins to move a little bit towards the east. By Wednesday, this is going to be right on top of us, folks. Already a slight risk for the eastern half of the viewing area. Again, that slight risk being a level 2 out of the 5 levels. Of course, we're going to watch that as we approach the middle of the week. This is all as the system begins to inch closer towards us here in Wisconsin. Right now, high pressure is in control. That's keeping the showers and thunderstorms from being able to reach us. But eventually, that high pressure won't be so much in control anymore. Over time, this system gets closer. That'll begin to spark the chances for some showers and thunderstorms around here. None of those will be washouts at all, folks, but you're going to see times where those showers and thunderstorms will exist around here, and then eventually high pressure will take over behind that. So let's take you hour by hour through today and just show you what I'm talking about when I say these rain chances aren't going to be that big of a deal, but they'll be there. Tonight, we'll see those lows around 59. Of course, we'll stay dry throughout tomorrow. 84 degrees for your high. Tomorrow night, notice that chance for showers and thunderstorms. It's not going to be a big washout at all, but the chance will, of course, be there. Into Wednesday, we'll see a greater chance in coverage of those showers and thunderstorms, mainly for the eastern half of the area. There's a cool down that comes behind that on Wednesday into Thursday, but watch this big ridge of heat as that begins to expand and really take over the weather pattern across the country. Things are going to be staying mild, folks. As we go through the next 10 days, watch those temperatures jump above average once again, and odds are it's not just the next 10 days. As we go through the next couple of weeks, rounding out the month of July, it's very likely that we will see above normal temperatures throughout much of the country, bullseyed across the northern third of the country. So the heat will be returning, folks. We do have multiple days in the upper 80s in our forecast, some days close to 90, and each and every day with that heat and humidity returning, we'll see a slight chance for showers and storms.
A McFarland boy finds himself right in the middle of the Major League Baseball All-Star game in Cleveland. The story's coming up in sports. Brewers' Christian Yelich will be the leadoff batter for the National League in tomorrow night's All-Star game in Cleveland. But if you're planning on watching him tonight in the Home Run Derby, well, you're not going to see him. He pulled out of the Derby because his back has been bothering him. He's good enough to play in the All-Star game tomorrow, but he was worried about the Home Run Derby messing up his back.
It's a tough decision, and definitely disappointed that I can't participate. And I was really looking forward to it, something I wanted to be a part of. But hopefully, I'm fortunate enough to have another opportunity to do it here in the future, and I have people in this clubhouse and organization, and other people that are counting on me to be ready for the rest of the season.
Earlier today in Cleveland, Braylon Roeder of McFarland finished third in the 11 and 12-year-old division of the National Pitch Hit and Run Finals. Melissa Kim introduces us to this rising baseball star.
Check out that concentration.
The circle change, it has the same motion as a fastball, so it looks the same.
Braylon Roeder has an impeccable level of quiet focus.
Ooh, I'm just watching it and saying yes the whole time, and then if I think it's a ball, and say no right away.
The 12-year-old McFarland 8th grader is representing the state of Wisconsin at this year's All-Star game at the Pitch, Hit, and Run competition.
It's a lot of fun. Just there's always action going on.
And you don't have to look far to see where he gets that love and focus of baseball. His dad, Brock.
YouTube videos aren't going to teach you anything. Get in the backyard, throw a couple buckets of balls.
Instilling some discipline.
I said, hey, it's up to you to get out there and practice. And he goes out and he throws multiple buckets daily. His commitment to it now, I think he understands what it takes to become successful in something, putting in time and then seeing the results.
Results that got Braylon to Cleveland. But even if he doesn't win,
this is just a small aspect of life.
Baseball is teaching Braylon a lot more than fastballs and changeups.
Principal took me aside, which is always a hesitation, but he said, I wanted you to know how respectful and how good of a kid your son truly is. You know, sports can only take some people so far, but being a great person like he has become it's pretty special.
There's going to be a good old-fashioned ticker tape parade in New York City Wednesday to celebrate the United States women's national team's World Cup win in France yesterday. They arrived back in New York this afternoon. Former Badger Rose Lavelle scored one of the goals in the 2-0 win over the Netherlands. For Lavelle, it was quite a trip from her days at the McClymonds Soccer Complex to the top of the women's soccer world.
It's been a long journey and it doesn't seem real yet. It really hasn't hit me. It's like so surreal, and I feel so lucky to be a part of this group and play alongside these players.
And 15-year-old Coco Gauff's run at Wimbledon ended today. Simona Halep defeated Gauff 6-3, 6-3 in the round of 16. Gauff said she was super proud of her accomplishments and says she'll continue to dream big on the women's tennis tour over the coming months. Great examples of women and girls in sports. If you're thinking about it, go do it. You never know where it ends up.
I think she's just getting started. You're going to see a lot of her in the years ahead. Final check, Chris?
Yeah, it's going to be a perfect summer night, honestly. We'll have the hazy sunset later that I'm sure multiple folks will be taking pictures of. Temperatures are going to be comfortable as well. Look for lows right around 59. We'll be becoming partly cloudy at times. Into your Tuesday, we'll see more sunshine with temperatures around 84. Storms Tuesday night.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you back here at 10.